So tonight, Shanti's going to talk about a few different things. Number one, this Saturday, Shanti has invited a superstar cast of people to a one-day nationwide online, first of its type. The first of its type is the first ever online music summit. Now, I know you guys are accustomed to going to different seminars at hotels with, booking your travel and, getting the room and then going to break for lunch and going to grab something to eat and all that stuff. Well, this Saturday, Shanti is doing it 100% online, right? So what does that mean? That means if you have a computer, just like you're listening to it right now, if you can connect via your cell phone, just like some people are connected, I can see, via cell phone. If you have an iPad, any kind of tablet device, Android device, you will be able to hear it there as well, all right? So again, this Saturday, Shanti has a nationwide online music summit. Number two, who is this class for? Well, you're a singer, songwriter, music executive, A&R, you play the drums, you play the guitar, you beatbox, like anything to do with music, you want to be, you're in promotions, management, you have an artist, you want to start your own label, you want to work at a label, you want to do an internship at a label, you want to do an internship with Shanti, you want to know how to put on a music event at a venue, you want to know the ins and outs of creating your own platform. Shanti will be sharing all that. Not only will she be sharing it this Saturday, and tonight is an overview, she has, again, a panel of, you're going to read about it, I'm sure you saw it on the site, that will help you figure out exactly the steps that you need to take to make sure that you reach the goal that you want to accomplish, all right? Now, what would I like for you? I've already told you that once. I want you to take out your phone right now, take a picture of the screen. Our hashtag for tonight is hashtag Women in Music. We want you to take a picture of the screen, tag Shanti Das 404, tag me at AJ Joyner. And last but not least, Shanti has an exclusive offer, and for the people on this call, you get a discount, right? After tonight's call, there will be no more discounts. Everybody will have to pay full price, so you get a chance to steal it tonight for the price that Shanti has for you guys, all right? Okay, so if you understand everything that I said so far, if you understood everything that I said so far, we want you to look at the screen. One last reminder, we want to make sure that we immortalize the moment. Take pictures on social media, plenty of pictures. Every single slide that comes up, take a picture of it, all right? We just want to document them all. So if you understand what I'm talking about, go ahead and type hashtag Women in Music in the chat window. Type Women in Music in the chat window. Let me see if you guys can hear, man. All right, there we go. Women in Music, Women in Music. Hey, okay. Hey, what's up, Celeste? Hey, Melanie. Okay, cool. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want you guys to put your hands together for the Lady of the Hour, virtually, of course. Go ahead and clap, do a slow clap in the chat window. How about that? Just type clap really slow in the window. And the next voice you will hear is that of the one and only Miss Shanti Das.
Hey, hey. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate that great introduction. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all in formation? Everybody ready to slay and learn? All right, that's cool. I wish I could hear what you guys were saying, but I'm
slay. Yes, slay. Clap, clap, clap.
I am so honored to be able to be on the call for a second consecutive week. Again, I just want to thank AJ for setting up this amazing platform and opportunity. We know that everybody's schedules are hectic, and a lot of times it's hard to do in-person training, but, we're utilizing this lovely internet. So I'm going to start with my story. So I'm an ATL born and raised, young country girl from the A, Atlanta public school baby. Unfortunately, I had humble beginnings. My family didn't have a lot, so I wasn't a private school baby. I attended Benjamin E. Mays High School in Atlanta, and then I went on to Syracuse University. But the thing I think that's important to mention is, early on, it's funny, I think I always had the entrepreneurial spirit, even though I had a job for a long time. I kind of caught that entrepreneurial bug when I was in grade school. I began selling greeting cards when I was in like the 4th grade, and I would like go door to door and, I sold happy birthday cards, sympathy cards, graduation cards or whatever, and I got a percentage of everything that I sold. So that really taught me a lot, just even about owning your own business back in the day. And then when I was in the 8th grade, I started selling candy, which I find a lot of my colleagues in the industry, we share that same story of hustling and selling candy in middle school just to earn some extra money. So I always knew that I wanted to work and I wanted to do something, and I always had a passion of being great at whatever I was doing. So I kind of took that passion and married it with music. I began interning at B103, which is a local radio station here, when I was in like the 8th and 9th grade. And I remember my first concert that I ever went to, the first concert I ever had backstage passes to, let me correct that, was Luther Vandross and Anita Baker. And of course they were big R&B artists at the time. Some of you guys, might have heard of them. They're definitely R&B greats. And so, normally when you go backstage, right, you want to meet the artists and take pictures with them and that sort of thing. But I was more kind of enamored with the people that were behind the artists. I saw a lot of people moving and shaking and making decisions backstage, and I was like, wait a minute, who are these people? I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to have a real credential that means something and people actually respect the work that I'm doing. So that's kind of how I first had like an early appreciation for the music industry. So fast forward, I attended Syracuse University, started networking a lot when I was in college. I wrote a book called The 1, 2, 3 of Networking, and I talk about the importance of networking and not being afraid of kind of really creating your own destiny and laying out your own footprint, and not being afraid to go out and chase those contacts and get to know people. So I was like the ultimate networker at Syracuse. I worked at the college radio station. I was assistant promotions director. I was a hip-hop DJ. I wrote for a campus newsletter, just did a lot at college. And so I encourage you, if any of you guys that are on the phone are college students, get involved while you're there. Find out whatever your area of interest is. I'm sure there are some opportunities right there on your campuses. So upon graduation, well, hold on, let me go back. I ended up getting an internship at Capitol Records my sophomore year. But before that, I had gotten accepted into an internship program with the Arsenio Hall show. And Arsenio Hall was kind of like the African-American late-night talk show that was a really big hit in the early 90s. Everybody that was anybody was on Arsenio Hall back then. And so this was like a dream come true for me, because I knew I wanted to either do something in music, TV, or radio. And so because Arsenio was so hot and I had gotten the opportunity, I just knew I was going to accept that internship in California. My mom was like, pause, not happening, rewind. We don't have family in California. It's too expensive and it's just not possible. So I was, of course, devastated. How many of y'all ever had opportunities, that presented themselves and then you found yourself not being able to do it? Really can be a tough pill to swallow, but I had to be a big girl and figure out what was next. So I ended up talking back to someone that I had connected to at Capitol Records, because I was going to try to stay in Atlanta and intern at Capitol, before I had gotten accepted into the Arsenio Hall show. So anyway, called the young lady back at Capitol, and she ended up allowing me to take the gig, and I never looked back. So from Capitol Records, I did that for 2 summers. Then I graduated and worked at Sony Music for doing a free internship, because a lot of times you got to put the work in for free. I think that's very important for everybody to realize, that it's nothing wrong with working hard and getting your feet wet first. So that's what I did. And 4 months after graduation, I ended that internship with Sony and ended up getting hired at LaFace Records. And one thing I want to remind you guys is it's so important never to burn bridges and to always keep great relationships. Because the person that hired me at Capitol Records ended up consulting for LaFace, and he's the one that got my foot in the door. He was able to get that interview for me. And so I ended up talking to our general manager. I met with L.A. Reid, and I didn't know what a promotions director was, but that was the position that I was applying for. And I just went in there, and I was, super confident. And if it was something that I didn't know, I just kind of, told them, look, I'm willing to be a team player. I'm a very smart learner, and I want to be a part of the team. So I just made sure that I approached it the right way. It's so important that when we go into these interviews, whether we, know that we're going to get the job or not, obviously you have to just be super, super confident. And that's what I did. I put my game face on, and I went in there, spoke intelligently, I studied up on the label prior to going into the meeting, and I landed the job. So it was a wonderful opportunity for me working at LaFace Records. The first artist that I got to work with was Outkast. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Outkast. My first record I worked was Players Ball. I also worked with Toni Braxton, TLC, Usher, and so many other artists. It was just, a wonderful time for me at LaFace Records, and I helped them grow the company. We went on to sell millions and millions of records. So that's kind of how I got my start.
Just like that, huh? Just.
I mean, it was a lot of sacrifice. I felt like there are often, I would get called out of town, and I had to do what I had to do. But I was young. I was in my 20s. I was totally career first. I don't really have. I always try to, say hashtag no regrets, because I don't ever like to go through life with regrets. But
sure.
If I had to talk to my younger self, I would just make sure I carved out a little bit more personal time for my family. Because I promise, right? And so you always want to make sure you support the people that are close to you.
I have a question that's sort of relevant, and I want to go ahead. On here has artists that they're working with.
Okay.
Right? And I guess you broke Outkast.
Mm-hmm.
And was there anybody else that you broke that?
See if there are any other like artists. Like, for example, trap soul is kind of a new genre that's out there that young kid Bryson Tiller is doing really well. So if you have somebody that's similar in terms of his style of music, then you want to find out who the local promoters that are promoting the Bryson Tiller show and try to get your artist on there to open.
What is trap soul?
So we all know what trap music is.
Sure.
You talk about the Rich Homie Quans, Migos. Mm-hmm. It's a particular style of hip hop.
Sure.
And so he sings, Bryson sings. So I think they've kind of coined this new genre, trap soul. Okay. So anyway,
right.
But you get my point.
Yep.
Whether it's hip hop, R&B, EDM, popular music, whatever, you need to make sure you saturate the marketplace. But also, because of the internet, and because I swear more and more like tweens, teens, and millennials that I talk to, they're discovering their music via the internet or apps. How many of you guys now, discover your music either from mixtapes or on Spotify or Tidal or, Pandora, or you listening to SoundCloud to discover new music? It's just such a different world out there now. And so you have to look at the entire ecosystem and how music is distributed and make sure that you are directly connecting with the consumer, because that's the beauty of social media. That's the beauty of the digital platform. Back in the day, if we wanted to, say if I was an artist and I wanted to connect with my fans, I would have to either see them at, a concert or schedule like a meet and greet or autograph signing at the record store. But nowadays you can tweet directly, you can Instagram, you can tag, you can comment. And so you got to be up on technology, and you have to be smart about social media. I mean, look at how Justin Bieber broke himself.
Yeah.
He kept putting up all of those different covers, on YouTube, and eventually somebody took notice to it. I have an event here called ATL Live on the Park, and it's a live music showcase, and it's a promotional platform for emerging and established artists. But I tell people, we have a live band. So you're not going to perform to track when it comes to my show. But if you want to position your artist to perform, you need to make sure that you send me a video link of your artist either already doing a live performance or doing a cover song. And the one thing I'll say about cover songs, don't just have your artist do a cover song and they can't nail it. Like one of my clients that I work with, Demetria McKinney, who was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she's a singer, and she covered Whitney Houston, and that was really bold. She put up a couple of different video clips on YouTube, but she was able to nail it, and people loved it. And so I say that to say, if your artist is semi-talented, then pick a song that you think, you know, they could do better than the original artist. Yeah, I hate to say that. So know your artist, know the target demographic, understand social media, because you look at social media now, it's like the new street team. You know, back in the day, we would put up posters and flyers and hand-to-hand distribution of trying to promote our artists. Now everything is promoted socially and virally now. So that's kind of my answer for that. I hope I answered your question.
No,
is that Tiffany?
You nailed it. No, that was no, that's somebody. That was showcase star. Oh, geez, we got so many questions.
Okay, well.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll get to another question in a minute.
Okay. So I kind of started telling you guys who Shanti Das is. I'm on that slide now, the slide that has all of my books on it. You know, like I mentioned, I worked at all these different record companies. I worked my way up from intern to executive vice president, then to entrepreneur. Worked with some amazing artists. One of my bucket list artists that I got to work with was Prince. I got to do the marketing on the Musicology album when I was at Columbia Records. When I was at Motown, I got to work with Erykah Badu.
Was she a bucket list person?
Erykah, oh gosh, yeah.
She was.
Yeah, but I had the pleasure of meeting Erykah when she dated Andre 3000 from Outkast. So we were cool, you know, from the LaFace days. But that was a great experience. Busta Rhymes was a great experience. I did some marketing on a live DVD that we released for Stevie Wonder. So although I worked closely with Stevie, I got to meet him and do some marketing stuff for his project, which was, you know, another bucket list. But just an amazing opportunity. And then life kind of hit me in 2009. Some different things happened personally, so I decided to take a leap of faith. And I moved back home to Atlanta, and I wrote my first book, which was The Hip Hop Professional, that I relaunched. And 2.0 version is the one that's out now. It's A Woman's Guide to Climbing the Ladder of Success in the Entertainment Business. And these other 3 books that you see are my business pocket guides, the 1, 2, 3s of networking, the 1, 2, 3s of entrepreneurship, and the new one that's about to come out, the 1, 2, 3s of self-publishing a book, because I feel like there's so much knowledge and information that I can share with the world, and so it's a real honor to be able to self-publish this material and get it out there. So I'm doing my own thing now. I have a company called Press Reset Entertainment. It's an entertainment concierge service, and I still do marketing for established and emerging talent, mainly more R&B and pop culture artists. I have the live music event. We do celebrity procurement for movie premieres or for brand events, you know, such as Ford and like the Atlanta Hawks. I did some promotional campaigns for them.
What does that mean? I know what it means, but for someone who may not know what celebrity procurement means.
So celebrity procurement is, you know, when you go to these movie premieres and you see TV personalities or reality stars or celebrities walking the red carpet, well, they don't just show up. Somebody has to invite them and confirm their attendance. Sometimes, you know.
Pay to play.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, not pay to play. We're not paying them to come.
Oh, okay.
We're just inviting them out to come. But you know, for certain artists, it's a good look for them because it further gives them exposure to be captured, you know, with their photographs on the blogs and out and about, and to be, you know, seen in the marketplace. So it kind of works hand in hand. There's benefit to both sides of it. And sometimes, you know, that's a role of a publicist doing celebrity procurement. But for me, from a marketing standpoint, because I still have great relationships with most of the artists and their management, it's just an easy thing to do. You know, it's like utilizing that Rolodex that I've created over the last 25 years. Right.
Okay.
So we do that. We also do talent booking for private and corporate events. The National Black NBA Association has their major conference every year, so I booked talent for them last year. So, you know, just kind of a lot of influencer marketing. I'm doing some work with Brown Forman, Tennessee Honey, and Jack Daniels are the beverages that I'm doing some activations with. So a little bit of everything. It's like, when you are an entrepreneur, you eat what you kill, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
You don't get that check every
2 weeks.
2 weeks on the 1st and the 15th.
So let's do this, Shanti. Let's go ahead and get some involvement from the listening audience. So,
Great.
Right now, I see tons of questions in the chat window. And I'm scrolling back and forth and looking at them. But what I want you guys to do is there is a button for you to raise your hand and ask a question. Go ahead and ask a question. Go ahead and ask a question. Oh, I think they can actually see. Yeah. Go ahead and raise your hand, and I'm gonna unmute your microphone, and I'm gonna allow you to ask a question. The first question looks like it comes from Catherine Conforti. When you guys come on, just introduce yourself. Tell us your social media handle, where you're calling in from, and then go ahead with your question. Catherine, are you there? Catherine?
Hi there.
How you doing?
Hi.
Well, how are you? It's great to talk to you. Nice to talk to you too. I'm an aspiring singer and artist, and I write my own songs. I go by the name Catherine Sky on my Twitter, and I have a page on Reverb Nation to post some of my songs. And right now I kind of have like a collection of songs, and I'm working with a recording studio just kind of get them to sound like really good quality. And I'm wondering what's the best effective way for me to get them heard by like industry professionals.
Okay, can you hear me? Are you a member, I don't know if you mentioned this.
A member of SOCAN, which is kind of like the Canadian equivalent.
Okay. The up and coming talent. I don't know if there are like showcases in your local area, but if you're trying to get people in the States at record companies to hear your material, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's really difficult now to get that one-on-one interaction with labels. There are a couple of conferences that still exist. For example, South by Southwest. It's still a great place to interact and network with music executives. With that conference. Also, Revolt Music Conference is in October in Miami. So sometimes it takes, investing in yourself. Because we talked about this last week. So much of what we still do in the music industry is about relationships. And so if you could, build a great relationship. I don't know how old you are, if you don't mind me asking.
19. Just 19.
Okay, so you're still at a point where you could, try to either get an internship or do some shadowing at some record companies. I've seen a lot of aspiring artists that try to get their foot in the door by either working at a studio, working at a record company, because it's all about networking and being in the right place at the right time. So if Canada is not the place for you, then maybe you consider moving to LA, Atlanta, so that you can be in more of a environment that kind of fosters networking and connectivity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The other thing, the last thing I'll say to you is, make sure you're concentrating on putting really good material out there and that you're getting your views up. Because record companies now, they have kind of what's called like, R&D. We're not really called R&D, but in the corporate world, how you have research and development, they actually have people that are watching, people's numbers and their time and the number of followers and views and that sort of thing. So maybe focus in on either YouTube or focus in on SoundCloud and get the numbers up. Because if you're really good and you're creating a buzz and you're doing some shows locally, they'll come looking for you. But you got it. Record companies want to see that you're doing the work nowadays because you, like I said, direct connection with the fans. And so they're not willing to interactive, they don't feel like nobody else is feeling you. Because in this day and age, you can't blame it on, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying you in general. You can't blame it on the fact that there's no opportunity to connect, because you can connect. So people are, young kids are discovering music on their own more so now than ever. They're not even listening to like traditional radio, terrestrial radio, and all that. And so they're new talent on all these digital platforms. So you've got to pick one or two of those platforms and kind of hone in on your craft.
Okay, thank you so much. I know it's like a different environment now. They say how you have to use social media a lot to get your platform.
Like, if people in your circle say that you're really good and that you've gotten some amazing feedback from people in your community, then out there, keep releasing music, going to these events, connecting with people. You may sacrifice moving to the States. But you're young enough that you can put together a real strategy that works.
I'm in downtown Toronto right now, so it's good that there are a little bit more like urban areas to connect with music, but that's like just like the only spot in Canada right now, you know?
Exactly. So, on that crowd in Canada.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you. Thank you for having this summit right now.
We're going to take one more question. Thank you so much, Catherine. We're going to take one more question now, and then we're going to let Shanti go on. So, Shanti. I'm looking at Shanti over here.
That's okay.
So, Shanti Ross from Houston, Texas.
H-Town in the building.
I'm going to let you talk. Shanti said, make sure you check out Shanti Ross. She's hot.
Okay.
She's like promoting the heck out of herself.
I love it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Repeat that question. I represent her. She just turned 17 years old. Can you repeat the question, please?
No.
Well, you guys answered the question, right? You wanted to check out Shanti's music, so.
Right. So we can say check out our YouTube. We want to start at Shanti. She's in Houston, Texas.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. She just turned 17. She recently released a EP album in New Orleans last October. She sings, writes her own music. She's performed in several venues here in Houston: House of Blues, Warehouse Live, Stereo Live, New Orleans, Dallas, Gas Monkey, you name it. But we'd like to venture out into Atlanta to some venues. If you can give us some good venues that she can, get down there and spread her music and her talent.
Let me ask you a question. The types of events, because she's 17, have you had to, like, who does her music appeal to? Because with her not necessarily being of age yet, I'm curious as to what type of venues you've been doing.
It's funny you say that. I think when she was about 14, we did a weekly showcase with Matthew Knows, and he would go over some things with her, which is very important, and I think a lot of young artists should take heed on this. It's very important to, when you're writing your music, to actually know what you're writing about.
And who your target audience is.
Say that again?
Yeah, know what you're writing about and who your target audience is.
Correct. But in this situation, with her, they even call her. We have people that call her with an old soul. They say she has an old soul. But her experience, I think, come from seeing people, seeing other relationships, family situations, and so her music appeals to teenagers, young adults, and older adults. Her music is pretty, I guess, like between pop and soul. But you can listen for it yourself, and she's had good reviews from all over the world. She's on Django, and we've got a lot of good response. So
she opened up for any popular artists that did Houston shows?
she was asked, but it fell through. And who haven't opened up for these guys? Mindless Behavior, but it fell through. But she's currently just really right now doing her thing, her own thing, and she has a upcoming performance coming up on the 23rd. And we got some other stuff that's coming up out of town. So, but again, we would really like to get in Atlanta and showcase our talent and just network.
Well, I'll check out her music. My Atlanta Live. You can Google the event. It's ATL Live on the Park.
Okay.
It's the 7th year, and it's a really successful event in Atlanta.
We'd definitely like to do that. Yeah.
Check out her website. I know AJ bookmarked it for us, and I don't know if there's contact information on your site, but I'll definitely check it out and reach back out. And if if I'm feeling it out, I'll give you guys a shot to perform at the show, and then you can get here and set up meetings and spend some time. I definitely would advise spending a couple of days here if you're going to come all this way.
Yeah, oh, no problem. And if you go onto a website, it's one song that we're trying to push. It's called The Breakup, which the whole song is on the website. You can listen to the entirety. So we really appreciate that. And also what we like to do is people that help us, and we try to teach her this, like the information that you're giving. We will try to also help you, which you probably don't need any help, but we don't mind spreading something that's good, so we'll also do that.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you. We can all use each other's help, so I look forward to it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, so I'm going to get to the next slide, which is 3 things to always remember to achieve success as a woman in the music industry. So, like, for me, sometimes I feel like, people don't really understand that it's okay to say no, or it's okay to take a step back. One example I'll give you is when I was working and I mentioned this last week when I was working at Arista Records, it just wasn't the right opportunity for me. Even now, I can relate that to being an entrepreneur. Sometimes there are projects that don't make sense, and so if I'm really struggling trying to get these clients and keep everything going, one might say, well, girl, why don't you take that deal, if you're trying to move forward and build these relationships? But not every opportunity is the right opportunity. Not every opportunity is the right opportunity. Yes, you can write that down. And sometimes you got to take 2 steps backwards to go 5 steps forward. You got to remember that, because I've seen people get into situations and, they thought it was the right situation, but they didn't really feel good going into it. And so you end up doing yourself more harm sometimes by taking certain opportunities. So don't be so hungry and thirsty to make things happen if it doesn't feel like the right opportunity. And again, sometimes you got to take those steps back to move forward. So don't be afraid of that. That's the main thing I want you to take away from that. The other thing is to not burn bridges in the industry, because I've seen people, and unfortunately I'm speaking to the ladies right now, where we get catty with one another, or we start gossiping, and we don't like, this artist, or I'm working at this label and I don't like the girl that works in that department, and you end up burning bridges. But guess what? 3 or 4 years down the line, or 5 years down the line, maybe that girl that you hated on, or you couldn't take the high road, and you guys end up having a side relationship, she might be working for L'Oreal or Hello Beautiful, or a site you're trying to get coverage on your artist, or something you're trying to do on your own, and they're going to remember how you treated them. So for me, whether people are right or wrong, only one person, I'm going to keep it real, because I'm real transparent these days in my older age. Nobody can judge you but the man up above. And I don't know who y'all believe in or who's your higher being, but don't get caught up on the BS. Don't allow people to push your buttons so that you burn those bridges, because you got to remember, business is not personal. We make it personal. We take stuff too far, and you don't know who you're going to end up either needing to network with, negotiate with, do a deal with, or even ask for a job. because you know the turnover is high in some of these companies, and we live in an age of technology now, so things are constantly moving and changing. So you never know who you're going to have to deal with down the line. The other thing is be kind to the man or the woman next to the man or the woman, because in a couple of years, they might be, running point at the company. Or they may be a writer for a digital blog that you're trying to get coverage for your artist on. I mean, you got to be smart about it. And you need to network amongst each other, because a lot of these ladies or guys that are on this call today, you're going to be our future leaders. So y'all think you always got to get to the top. You need to start down and work your way up, and y'all grow together and you lift as you climb. It might sound easy, but find like-minded individuals that you can do business with, because you never know who's going to be the boss one day. And the last thing I'll say is, if you're dealing in the entertainment industry, whether you want to be an artist or an executive, or even work in the television industry or the film industry, don't get starstruck by the actors or actresses. Now, we all are human, right? And we admire one another, and that's fine. I'm not saying you can't have a genuine love for someone you look up to that you either hear on the radio or see on TV, or someone that you admire from afar at the company. But the one thing artists don't like is when you run behind them trying to kiss their behind. I hate to say it like that. Or if you treat them like celebrities. That's the one thing that worked for me, is like, I didn't treat the artists like celebrities that I worked with. I treated them like regular human beings. Now, don't get me wrong. I respected their craft and the work that they did, but I treated them like regular people. And there was just a certain level of respect there. I didn't ask them personal questions. I wasn't trying to necessarily hang out in their dressing room. If they wanted me to come in, they had to invite me. Some people just get too comfortable and too familiar too soon. And that could end up being detrimental for you on that job, or being able to represent that client as a publicist or as a marketing person. So you always have to make sure you maintain a certain level of respect for yourself more than anything, and just act accordingly. AJ, what's next? Any questions?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I was over here looking at social media. Let me see here. All right, so we do have an interview here. Let's see. Okay, so this time we're going to go over to Tiffany Gardenhire. So give me a second, Tiffany. I'm going to find you. Bear with me and my fat fingers. Tiffany Gardenhire, are you there?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Hey, Tiffany.
Hello, hi Shanti, hi AJ, how are you?
Good.
Good. Okay, so I'm from New York, and I manage an R&B singer from New York. Her name is Sherry John. The question that I have is sort of kind of finding the balance. So Sherry, we started a record label together, so like we own our own record label, and we're trying to do this like independently starting out. So the struggle is trying to find a balance. Like, we get all types of different opportunities and inquiries for Sherry to sing at different showcases and different events, and majority of the time, specifically the showcases in New York, I mean, it's flooded with where you have to pay to perform, or you have to, sell, they call it, I forgot the term, pay to play. That's the terminology. But you have to pay to perform and or sell a certain amount of tickets, right? So the struggle that I see as an independent artist is, how do you find a balance when you're trying to build a fan base and you want to get your artists out there, you want to do all these shows and stuff, but at the same time, you want to bring some money in, specifically for the label and the artist, to be able to pay for studio time and producers and stuff like that. So it's like, how do you find a balance when you're trying to when you're trying to build a fan base, but at the same time you want, at some point, you want to start earning money?
So she's an R&B artist, right? How old is she?
30.
Okay. So one thing else, because I say that only because I'm trying to understand your target demo. So she's truly an R&B artist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's an R&B artist. She in the past she opened up for like Genuine. She's known for like doing like great Whitney Houston covers. She has a
Nice.
great soulful. Yeah.
Couple things I'll say to you. One is, if you guys, as the quote unquote independent label, if you don't necessarily have a lot of funding or private investors that are funding, all of the budget for you, then yeah, you need to create opportunity and revenue. And so
Right.
while opportunities, it seems like you've kind of saturated the New York marketplace. So maybe you try to branch off either into Philly or kind of, take some drives down to, the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. It sounds like you kind of tapped out in the New York market.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point where we was doing shows after show after show, and you start seeing the same people. This promoter just promoted this showcase, and now they're at the next venue. It's, to that point.
You tapped out with that particular crowd, if you will, in the New York City market, and so you got to branch out. You got to come to an Atlanta. You got to go down to D.C. and do some shows. What I would suggest to you, if you're managing the artist, you need to try to build relationships and rapport with other promoters in those other markets. So maybe you find out when a certain festival or an event is in Maryland, and you just go down and spend the weekend, and your network, going to different clubs and trying to promote her in those other cities. Because you got to move out of New York, because it seems like you're just tapped out there. The other thing, you can look at my show in Atlanta. You get a lot of hits. We allow, emerging artists to perform. So you need to find my event, the ATL Live or the R&B Live, find those events in other cities. Because I don't charge for artists to perform. I could, and I could be making a whole lot of money, but I still believe in the integrity of the music. And so my is a platform for artists to showcase their talent. And I don't think I should have to charge you guys, for that if you're bringing good talent to the table. And then you also, if she does these great renditions, you got to make sure, same thing I told the other young man from Houston, you got to make sure that you're building up her social media profile. So you got to get yourself out of just doing the New York market. It's really important. And the thing about it is, you don't have, say if you, because to work a traditional R&B record now at radio, the budget is anywhere between $60,000 and $100,000. That's a lot of money. So if you don't have money like the labels have to properly push out a single, go to radio, shoot a small video, get it up on Vivo, get it on R&B, get it on VH1 Soul or Centric or Music Choice. That costs a lot of money. So if you can't do that, you got to get out and go to these other markets and do a lot of grassroots promotions.
Right. So I totally agree. Yeah, I would love the opportunity to submit her for your showcase if possible.
Full budget video. Go on the road. Submit it to some digital outlets. This is R&B. HelloBeautiful.com, places that might discover new talent. And just really work it as effectively as you can through the digital network. Put it up on iTunes. Try to generate some sales. If it's a club record, that could get some spins, take it back to the old school. Go and get these DJs in these markets to start playing it. You got to be able to invest some money into a particular single, because that's going to help her get more shows.
Right.
All right, Tiffany. Thank you so much. I got a million questions over here.
Okay, so going to the next slide, one of the things that I think is important, particularly for women in music, is having thick skin. We as women, we're emotional beings. That's no secret. And we've been told that we too often wear our emotions on my sleeve. I, for one, am raising my hand because I know I'm guilty of that. And so I had to learn quickly once I was working my way up the ladder of success in the entertainment business and sitting in more of the boardrooms that, I couldn't get mad and go in the corner and cry and kick and yell and scream. I had to sit there with a straight face and handle it. if it was something I didn't know, I had to make sure that I was able to maneuver my way out of the situation intelligently and go back to my office and figure it out. But I didn't let them see me sweat. And I think, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Sometimes as a woman, you can either be too mean or too bossy, that people don't want to deal with you, or you can be too weak, and then they feel like you're not capable. So we have to find that happy middle ground. But we also have to always maintain having that thick skin, especially if you're trying to be an executive in the industry. You can't come off as being weak. You can't come off being undecisive. You got to be able to make decisions. If you're representing an artist, good, bad, or otherwise, you got to be able to make decisions and move quickly on things. Show people that you're confident, and don't be afraid to fail. Sometimes we make decisions, and it's not always the best outcome, but you got to be able to stand behind your decision. That's what makes great leaders. Sometimes leaders have to take that L for the team. Sometimes you might have to take that L for your artist and say, look, I ill-advised you on this particular opportunity, but at least we were trying to make something happen. Moving forward, I'll take this into account, I'll take that into account, but let's keep it moving. And so I always had to have thick skin and be able to do what was best for my team and for my artists that I was working with. Also, and I say this to men and women, if there are men on the call, you have to be confident when you go into these situations and ask for what you're worth. Particularly from an executive standpoint, there were times where I had to, I was frustrated, and I was negotiating some of my deals, and I was different, I felt like some of my other colleagues in the entertainment industry was making more money than me, and I was afraid early on to negotiate what I needed and what I felt like I deserved from a compensation standpoint. So I had to figure that out really quickly and make sure that I went in and I asked for what I felt like I deserved. And again, sometimes we just don't do that. We're just happy to be down or happy to have the opportunity. But no, you got to go in there and really fight for what you deserve and know what you deserve. That is so important, to know your value and to know what you're worth. Because think about it, people will give you what they think you're worth. But no, you have to be confident and say, look, no, I know that I am just as skilled as this person or that person, whether they're male or female, and that's why you deserve to be making, X amount in terms of salary. And so when I got ready to move from Atlanta to New York City, I was offered the same salary that I was making in Atlanta to move to New York. And I just thought that was absurd because I knew what the cost of living was like. And I ended up having to go and actually get interviews with other competing companies only to take that information back so that my company could counter offer and double my salary. So never be afraid to ask for what you're worth. The last thing that I will say is, hold on, I'm sorry. Having difficulties with my slides here. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Don't fall for the okie doke as women in terms of sexual advances. That's another whole webinar, AJ, that we could talk about. Exactly. I think that's something that we face as women, no matter what industry you're working in, corporate America, entertainment, what have you. But the thing about entertainment, it's so much of a social industry. You have to go out to events and network, and you're going to conventions and parties and showcases and so forth. And so guys are going to be guys, and they're always going to try to hit on you. The important thing to remember is, don't mix the business with pleasure. If it's someone that you happen to like in the same industry, then just like them because you like them, not because you want something from them. So for me, I take pride in knowing that I worked my way into and up the ranks in the entertainment industry because of my hard work. It wasn't that I slept with somebody to get my foot in the door. And I'm not judging those ladies or gentlemen that do that, but what I will say to them is it might not last. You might sleep with somebody and they get you a job, a great job in the company, and then they get fired. Well, then what? You have a new regime, a new team of people that come in, and then what are you going to do? At that point,
you can't just go off of your looks or the opportunity. It has to be your hard work, and you have to show and tell. So wouldn't you feel a whole lot better by yourself if you knew that it was based on hard work and integrity, and you definitely got that job and worked your way up? I don't know. For me, the integrity matters, and so I think that's something that, you know, I was taught by my mom and my sister, and it stuck with me. And you know, I say this in the most humble way. It's nice to know that you're respected for the work that you put in. So.
So, in a case like that, you said as far as respect, was that total respect out the blue? Did that?
I mean, you know, it's the entertainment business. So the thing about it is, you still might have to deal with these people. Um, so you work with them and you deal with them, but the respect might not. People will smile in your face, but then they'll talk about you behind your back. I mean, I've seen that a gazillion times, but people still respect you because you still have that position of authority and power. So unfortunately, you know, there are women that have worked their way up through their own, you know, personal ways and personal gain, and they're still in it, you know, for years to come. But you want the chatter behind your, you know, your back all the time, and people are gonna talk about you. This is with anything in life, right? People will talk about you till they turn blue in the face. But, you know, if you know what you've done and what you did or didn't do, you know, at the end of the day, that's what matters. But I take pride in knowing, you know, that I worked my way up through the ranks.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and take another question. Let's see. I saw a hand up. If you do have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. I'm about to unmute the microphone for someone. Some lucky, very lucky person. Let's see. Marquisha Lee. Hey, Marquisha, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Marquisha, how are you?
Hey.
Hi. I have a question. So I manage my daughter. She's 18. She's a singer, songwriter, producer, and she is at SAE right now. She's graduating in June for her associates in audio engineering. She just put out a project, which she just turned 18th on her 18th birthday. It's called 118. The project is on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. She produced everything herself, wrote it herself, and then she co-produced with Henny from the business. We have been in performances here in Atlanta. She's performed last month at the Revival with Brian Michael Cox and Mila, opening up for Rico Love. She's performed with Victor Jackson, some of the local people in Atlanta. She's performed she's with C-Sex, so she closed out their Christmas party with a song that she wrote with a live band. She's performed with the Vinyl for Muddy Water Group, a couple things in Atlanta. We have been on blogs, rolling out Why Cause I Can. This is R&B just did a write-up on her song and her SoundCloud just this week. I'm still wondering, how can I build her social media presence and SoundCloud up, because we've had our meetings with Rock Nation, we've had meetings with different A&Rs, but I don't want to just sign any type of deal because I don't feel like her social media presence is where it needs to be for her to be able to negotiate.
So, yeah, first of all, hats off to you because you're doing an amazing job with her. Everything you're doing is groundwork. A lot of artists, new artists, wish they were in her position. But you're absolutely right. In this particular day and age, and I'm sure you've learned that from those meetings, the labels, it's good, bad, or indifferent, you know, they want to know that if you already have a fan base established.
Right.
They scale that, they base it on your social media numbers. So you're right.
Right.
What I would do is, how many followers does she have like on Instagram or Snapchat right now?
Instagram is only like 21.
Like 21 people?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Not 21 people, I'm sorry, like 2,100.
Okay. I'm like, she got to have more than 21.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like 2,100. She was doing covers on YouTube, so the cover that she got the most on was like K Michelle, and it was like 34,000. But we stopped doing videos because the videos wasn't up to par, so she's just started back doing videos of her own music, but we haven't published those yet. Her SoundCloud is growing. Like we just put a new song up on SoundCloud maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's at almost 2,000 plays right now. Her SoundCloud plays is like altogether it's like 24,000. But from the meetings we've had with Atlantic, Columbia, Rock Nation, the offers and the things that they're talking about, to me, is just not worth signing her when I can still do more groundwork.
I think you're absolutely right. I would definitely take time in trying to do more groundwork. What I would start doing, everything you do with her with these interviews, whether it's this is R&B and all that, you got to make sure before you agree to do the interview that they tag her social media accounts or handles.
And they have been, like, This Is R&B have tagged her SoundCloud, which just from yesterday, I think they put a post up there yesterday, she's had like 1,000 extra plays.
That's my point. So you need to try to get on some more of these smaller blogs, right? And to start, you're able to market, all of her, whatever like the really important digital platforms are to you. I would focus on, I would set some goals. Okay, so my goal is to get her Instagram followers up to 10,000, in the next couple of months, and this is what I'm going to do. And you need to make her start, like, how old is she?
She just turned 18.
So make her start, like, engaging more with her fans. Like, the one thing that I've noticed, even with my followers, people like when you're authentic with them and when you talk to them. I'm not saying just about, silly stuff, but, like, have honest and open conversations and do things that engages your fan base, right? Or even ask them, what would you like to hear me talk about more? Would you like to see more from me? And make sure when she's doing these local performances that she is, taking pictures and posting and that she's either, always on Snapchat or on Periscope or continuously engaging her fans.
Okay.
It's going to happen overnight. You need to come up with one main hashtag. You know how even with my summit, it's women in music. You need to be very into hashtags. Everything has to be strategic and part of a plan, but definitely setting goals for yourself goes a long way, and getting those other digital stories will help if they tag her. That goes a long way. And then also, maybe even do some cool stuff like, I don't know, offer some free movie tickets or do things to engage her fans or make up some T-shirts and give away some free shirts. Like, whatever you can do to try to, like, get her audience talking more. Also, she's 18, right? So how old do you have to be voting? So, this is an important election year for the United States of America. Get her involved in the community, too. Encourage her young fans to get out there and vote. Maybe put together community event or creative thing that she could do and try to, start a campaign online, things that'll kind of complement her music, if you will. You just have to really put together some creative campaigns. This is Women's History Month, so have her, posting different women that she looks up to, on Instagram, that maybe some women singers that came before her that she looks up to. It's just different cool and unique ways that you can engage your audience. And so I think, people are pretty savvy on social media, right? So if they feel like your page is really interesting and you're saying stuff that makes sense, they're going to buy into it. Or if you talk about relationships or things, that young girls have to deal with, like, she just has to be engaging. She might even want to start a podcast. And whatever you think is going to be a good, authentic way for her to connect with your fans. And you just got to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And that's how more of those shows are going to come into play, opportunities for more stories. You just have to keep her engaged.
Okay. Because I've even thought about, I don't know, at this point, investing in, like, PR to push the project, to push her, or even finding, like, a booking agent.
But I would, sit down with a couple of different PR reps, because everybody was publicists, but not everybody has the relationship. And so with her, we focus on the music blogs right now. And for public red carpet opportunities. Like, she needs to be, you live in Atlanta?
Yes.
A lot of stuff that happens in Atlanta, especially kind of on the reality show circuit, TV premieres or movie premieres. She needs to be on the red carpet so that these blogs are photographing her. You gotta kind of take her to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah, AJ has a question.
Well, not so much of a question, but this is, I work with different clients, not in the music, but I help clients grow their social media following. The one thing, well, two different things. Number one, everything that she does should have a consistent call to action. And that call to action should be, oh, by the way, go follow me on Instagram at whatever. Oh, go check out my YouTube, whatever. So when she's on stage and she's, doing whatever, there should be a, hey, tell people what to do. Number two, if she's at 34,000 views on a YouTube video, there should be a link below that video that links to her social media.
Okay.
If you want to hear more from me, go check out this on social media. Another thing that I always tell my clients is consistency is key when it comes to growing your following, right? If you don't have the, exposure. If she posts something, a very good point. This is Women's History Month. What if she did a cover of one verse of a different woman that she admired and posted that every day for the month of Black History, right? That consistency build almost like a little demand. People are like, okay, I wonder what she's going to sing tomorrow, right? And then at the end of each one, point people back to her social media. So those are just top of mind things that I can think of that I tell clients that aren't necessarily to grow their following. But I think the same, theoretically, the same thing applies. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you both.
You know what? Reach out to me, Shanti.404 on Instagram and Twitter. I definitely want to learn more about her, and I can probably give you some suggestions for people to talk to in the market for publicity.
All right, thank you, Marquisha. All right, I think we'll take one more question, and then we'll have Shanti go over this quote and why it means a lot to her and why she chose that one. Let's see. Faye Capers. All right, we're going to go with Monet Spivey.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monet Spivey, and I am currently in Atlanta, but I am from New Jersey. I've been here for about 10 years. But currently, I do have a degree in marketing, and I do have experience working with artists as far as promotion, PR, and marketing is concerned. So the new person that I am working with is currently a EDM artist. So I know that's a little bit different for everybody. Everybody's doing, R&B and hip hop. So for him, it's a little bit more difficult, especially here in Atlanta, to kind of get him booked for shows. So we have been doing more festivals outside of the Georgia area. So when it comes to having to travel, especially with him being new and the expenses that go along with that, how do you kind of negotiate with a promoter on trying to get some expenses covered when they'll say, okay, we'll pay for travel or, hotel, or they'll pay him to perform, but they won't cover him getting there. Like, how do you kind of negotiate that with the promoter, if it's even possible at this point in stage in his career?
So my honest opinion, there's not a lot of room for negotiation there until that promoter feels like that artist has a buzz and that people want to see that artist there. You're kind of fighting an uphill battle. So right now, you need those opportunities, those moments of exposure for your artist. You need to be documenting and videotaping all of that. But you've got to try to, find a system and create buzz and demand that way because, I see it even in different genres, right? For example, one of my clients that I was working, was an R&B project, more adult R&B. But, every promoter that we were going to, even in some of the smaller markets like Greensboro, North Carolina, or Charlotte, North Carolina, or Raleigh, they were like, well, we like her and she's talented. We'll let her open up, but you got to get yourself here. So if there's no level of buzz or airplay or, people posting on their social media that they want to see that artist, there's no real value add for that promoter. At that point, they feel like, they're just doing you a favor. And so oftentimes they'll say, well, we'll give you $1,000 or we'll give you $2,000, but you got to get yourself there. Because even when you start negotiating, higher fees for artists, like, one of my clients, can demand like, anywhere between $20,000 and $30,000, but they have to cover all of their travel. That's just kind of the way the business goes. But you got to create some more buzz in that particular marketplace for your artist, whether it's a remix record or a record that just gets big in the clubs and starts gaining traction. That's how local promoters or even these festival guys are going to show any interest.
Okay. Thank you.
I know that doesn't help you tremendously, but like you've got to figure out a way to really insert your artist in that particular culture and try to get them out. I suggest like trying to really get them a hit record in the clubs and go in the club route.
Yeah.
Because who used to do more hip hop, he's into more EDM now. And Lil Jon spins, at all these EDM nights at the club. So getting to the DJs that really spin those EDM nights at the clubs, whether it's like Vegas or, New York or some of these other markets, that's what you need to do. You might need to just put the single on a USB stick and give some of those away items, or, the few DJs that still use vinyl, press up an EDM, mix or single and build it out on the club circuit, because you can still break an artist like that and not even really be selling records or have a song on the radio. Because that's like a whole different cult following,
Yeah, it definitely is. And he's definitely getting buzz, especially outside of Atlanta. Like, he just did a track with a huge artist over in Sweden. So he's getting flown out there to do the video and promote there. He is being booked for a couple festivals in Tennessee and Florida. He just played in a celebrity game for the CIAA. So he definitely is getting the exposure. So with the traveling, it's just, definitely being new and having to go, especially outside of Atlanta, to get a lot of the promotion and everything done. It was just kind of just trying to figure out a way to kind of gain the revenue to cover him having to travel to these different events. That's all.
Say to you, like the fact that he's doing something with an artist that's like big in Sweden, like that's a big deal. So you need to expand that opportunity and try to. Sometimes artists go and break overseas and build their way back, particularly because that genre is respected a lot in different markets. So you need to do your homework and figure out which markets and which clubs really listen to EDM music, and where it's like a thing. And so try to capitalize off that opportunity and make sure that you have the single on sale, globally, and that you're building your fan base with your Swedish fans. Like, you really got to like micro market and make sure that you're interacting and engaging with the EDM fans in each of those markets where you have visibility, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does, because he's actually performing for the Relay for Life that's coming. This summer that's going to be in Gwinnett County. So he's definitely doing some great things, and we'll definitely keep, plugging away and definitely doing a more strategic micro marketing for the specific markets that.
People in Atlanta, Saturday nights, or I think it's Saturday nights at the Gold Room might be their EDM night. So make sure you're targeting the clubs and figuring out which nights are EDM nights.
Okay.
And going through there and getting with the DJs and, leaving copies of, like I said, the song on the USB, or even just some old school ways of doing it, flyers so they can listen to your artists in it that night. Kind of got to, sometimes you got to, when it's a different type of genre, you got to go back to some of the old school ways of breaking music and still apply.
Definitely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so my quote, ladies and gentlemen, that I live by and that I would love you to live by is, if you really want to see your dream come into fruition, you got to invest time and money in yourself, period. For me, like a couple years ago, I ended up going, taking this continuing education class at Harvard Business School. There's another course that I'm about to take that's offered at Syracuse University, my alma mater, is offering on social media, because I want to make sure that I am, because it's ever changing, right? Everything that we're doing, especially with music because of technology. So I'm always trying to either attend seminars, take new classes to keep me fresh and up on my game. And so sometimes, ladies, it's forgetting about that Michael Kors bag or that Louis Vuitton bag or that hot little cute new Gucci bag that just came out. And it's about investing in yourself, and your craft, or taking that money and reinvesting it back into your independent company. And that might be setting up more studio time so your artist can keep putting out more materials, or that might be hiring a videographer. So if your artist puts out an EP, then guess what? Just like how Beyonce released her album and shot videos for every album, well, you can do the same thing too. You can get some little, young cats on the scene in your area who's good, from a visual standpoint, and shoot video content. Fans want to be engaged. They've continuously told you that. They're saying it on social media. The more you give them, the more quality stuff, the more loyal they'll be to you. Same thing if you're trying to become an executive. Invest in time. Go to seminars, go to conventions, network with people. Read, smart articles. Sometimes I invest my time in just going through the Twitter feed and seeing what all of, Complex Music is talking about, what Hip Hop DX is talking about, what new mixtapes Dat Piff is launching. Like, I can't claim to be an expert in the field if I'm not willing to invest time and money into my craft. That's why people can call me, a music industry, and I don't like the term expert because I don't really think I'm an expert. I've just been in the game for 25 years, and I'm sharing my knowledge that will hopefully help somebody along the way. But you just, if you want it, nobody's going to want it more than you. You've got to put the time in. So many people want to be an overnight success. Well, who really wants that, right? Or who really wants to be a jack of all trades and a master of none? Take time to focus in and be great at one thing, and then you can be slash this, slash that. So it's all about understanding the importance of time, because time is money. And so you want to be able to invest both in a smart way.
All right, guys. We are going to open up the, I'll tell you what, we're going to take, what time is this? 10:20. We're going to take two more questions. So I'm going to take everybody's hands down now. All right, so starting right now, go ahead and raise your hand, and I will take two more questions, and then we're going to introduce you guys to what Shanti has coming up this week. So two more hands raised. Looks like the first one is Alicia Smith. All right.
Hello, how y'all doing? I'm doing good. Thank you so much for your time. I consider myself a writer. I do a lot of writing, and I was actually recently on the BMI website, and I was thinking about registering with them, but I was like, well, I might be moving a little too fast. I'm trying to figure out the differences between licensing my music, getting it copywritten and published, and at what point do I need to do each?
Okay, do you have like an EP out, or have you released an album or anything?
No.
Well, I wouldn't worry about getting your music, licensed just yet. Or maybe like if you're working one particular single, licensing opportunity. Are you you have a publishing deal, or you?
No, actually, I'm just independent right now. I'm just like writing a lot of stuff, but I wasn't sure before I try and like talk to people about my music. Did I need to have it licensed first?
No, so just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. So like for me, when I license my client's material, like it's trying to find opportunities for like television shows to play the music in the background, or for the songs to be a part of the film. That's what entails in terms of that's what it entails in terms of licensing your music. So I don't know that you're at that point yet, but I can't say you're not. Sometimes people, will submit their music to, local television stations. Like, for example, here in Atlanta, there's Turner Broadcasting, a lot of different shows in the Turner system, but you got to network with the people that do music in there first in order to try to even submit your music or material. So right now, you need to focus on getting your music out into the marketplace, or whether you're selling the songs or you're putting the music out on your own.
Right.
About getting it licensed, and the minute that it's out into the marketplace, it's already copywritten to put it out. So you'll be covered. But you want to just make sure that you're trying to get your music exposed in as many outlets as possible. Are you writing all your own stuff, and are you writing the lyrics and the music, or just one of those?
Just the lyrics.
So what producers are you working with?
Well, I just started back writing. A lot of my producers were back in Florida, and that's been like a couple of years ago. So I'm just starting back out here.
So do you want to shop your music for it to be, for some of your songs to be bought and for other artists to sing them?
I want to do whatever opportunity presents itself, but I definitely have a passion for writing. So
there's a site that I'm going to give you that I want you to check out. One second to find it. It's called soundbetter.com, soundbetter.com. Check that out and see. I know that you can sell beats on there, but I'm not sure if you can sell songs with lyrics on there. But that might be an opportunity for you to try to get some of your songs out there. And so I would definitely join a performance rights organization. And like, for example, BMI, they do like new artist showcases all the time, where they do writing camps where writers, other writers, and they can, collaborate and do stuff together, or they can shop their material, or the reps there can help pitch and pitch your songs to other artists and local producers and stuff. So you need to get out there and network more with some of those performance rights organizations. And don't worry about publishing deals and all that stuff yet, because you don't want to go with like Sony ATV or Warner Chappell Publishing unless you have,
a hit already.
Exactly, or more equity in the marketplace. Like, people have got to already be responding to your music for those publishing companies who want to do deals with you. So just focus on trying to get with some good producers in your area and sell your songs, or get with a young up-and-coming artist that you can really build and grow with. I've seen a lot of producers and writers grow with the artist, and they all end up winning, right? Because you can't be an artist without a great song. You got to have great music behind you. So you need to get a team around you. Sound Better, SOUND better. I know you can sell books on there, but I do my homework.
Right. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck with everything.
All right.
All right. One thing that we didn't mention tonight is that what we're going to do with this group is, for everybody that attends the summit, we are creating a almost like a roll or a log. Everybody that joins, your website, your social media handles, and what your specialty is, right? The goal is for us to create a group to where you guys can actually network together and help each other. All right? So now next we have a question for you guys. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take one more question, and this will come from, let's see, Faye Capers. Faye Capers, give me just a second here. Hello, Faye, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
We're good, thank you.
Well, I took all my little pictures and put them out on social media. I was obedient. Okay. How?
Faye,
Huh?
I just retweeted you.
Oh, okay, very good. But this is my question. Okay, everybody that you've been talking to are like 30 and under. Well, I'm 30 and over. I ain't gonna tell you how far over I am, but I've been out here and basically I am a gospel artist. So I write my own music. Actually, I play, I produce it. I have done all of that, but right now I'm in the studio having some of my music done by a professional keyboard player because even though I can do basic keyboards, you know, I need somebody to take it to the next level in how it sounds. So really, I guess I'm old school since everybody else, you know, everything now is young. And what like I have a website, maybe you can check it out and tell me what you think about it if you get a moment. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna write it in this. I'm gonna write it in this little thing right here. And
Let me ask you a question. What market are you in?
I'm a gospel artist, and I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to like blow up or anything like that, but I would like for my music to be heard because I feel like I'm a very good artist. And I have good material. I'm a jazz-oriented vocalist, and so I really feel like that the music is worth being heard. And so I don't know kind of which way to do it because I'm not really up on all of the social media kind of things like how to put it up and how to get it out there and all that kind of stuff. Even though some of my stuff is on iTunes and you know my beg your pardon.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Where do you live, Faye?
In Atlanta.
Okay, so have you been performing at any of the churches or any of these like, you know, different showcases that happen, gospel events? Have you been on Praise 1025 or gotten your music to any of those DJs yet there?
Well, I have not done that. I have that's something that well, I put it like this. I haven't like gone out of my way to do it. It's a hard venue to get into because my understanding is they get millions of CDs thrown at them, and so they might never listen to it or anything like that. But what I do, I guess most, I just need to um, have some suggestions of how to get my music out there. I'm a worship artist, and so I do a lot of things for churches to help them start up, like doing their worship and that type of thing. And but it's not really an avenue that's very exposing.
Okay, Faye, so let me do this. I'm going to take your information, put your email, type your email in. AJ's going to get it and give it to me. I do like gospel music. I'm a fan. I listen to Praise 102 a lot because it wakes me up every morning and listen to the day. So I would be willing to, I don't do, you know, a lot of this for a lot of people, but I'm willing to listen to your music and try to help you out as much as I can because I do know the market has changed. I do know it's different when you're in a slightly older demographic. If you're as good as you say you are, I'll definitely give you some pointers.
Well, I am good. I mean, I have to be. You told me earlier that I got to be confident, right, and know who I am, and so you know, you listen and you can tell me what you think.
I will. I give you my word on that.
Okay, very good. And I just want to say that I have really enjoyed it. I have my little pad and my pen and been writing down some little things. So do you mind if I requote your two things that if you really want to see your dream come true, can I put that on my blog?
You can, and I'll keep you abreast of any gospel events that I know that are coming up after I listen to your stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Sounds exciting.
All right.
Thank you.
Faye, can you hear me?
I can hear you, AJ.
Do this for me. We don't do this, like this will be our first time doing this, and we actually said we weren't going to do it. We're going to give you 15 seconds. 15 seconds of fame. Go ahead and sing. Go ahead and sing something right now for Shanti. 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Okay. You are worthy, oh God. Yes, you are. You are worthy, oh God. Yes, you are. From the rising of the sun until the going down of the same, you are worthy, oh God. Yes, you are. So was that my 15 seconds? I could have gone on into the verse, but you said 15. I'm trying to be obedient.
There you go. I love it. So, Rajanique, someone on the call said they would love to work with you. Rajanique, can you put your information in the chat window? Again, everybody that joins the summit on Saturday, we're going to get everybody's information so you guys can network together. We want this to turn into something organic and right? So, Rajanique, go ahead and put your information. So, if you go to Faye, what's your website? It's Faye Capers,
Yes, FAYECAPERS.com. That's the website. And my email is up there, fmcapers@gmail.com.
All right, Faye. Listen, thank you so much. So this is our question that we have for you guys. Based on a lot of the things that Shanti has shared with you, not only tonight, but last week as well. I know some of you guys from last week. And I want to hear something a little bit more creative, right? What are some things that you think you can do that you haven't heard Shanti say yet to help you stand out in the marketplace? Besides, joining summits and things like that. What are some of the things that you can do, whether you're an artist, whether you're a promoter, manager? What are some of the things that you can do to help you help yourself stand out and reach the goals that you have for yourself? Just go ahead and type that in the chat window. Just want to get some feedback from some of you guys. Okay, Tiffany says she can definitely network more. Okay, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Tiffany Gardenhire. Let's see, Markeisha says continue to educate myself in the industry. That's a good one, Markeisha. Anybody else? Invest in myself more. That's right, Faye. Monet says 10 more conferences. That's right. That's another part of networking and getting yourself out there. 10 more conferences again. Be yourself. Roxanne Hernandez, absolutely. All right, so that said, we're going to go ahead and move on.
So for me, for example, I like to use this one as a good example. If I pose that same question, how do I stand out in the marketplace? Say, for example, if I'm a publicist or if I have, if I'm a manager and I'm an artist that I'm trying to break, rather. You gotta use your resources as best as you can. And I mentioned this earlier, is just find an artist locally and break them and start doing the work. If you're a young college student and you really feel like you have a great ear for music and creatively you have your hand on the pulse of what's hot and what your peers are listening to, then find some new artists that are credible and that are dope and start setting up shows even on your college campus, finding opportunities for them. If there's a local blogger on campus for student activities, start promoting your artist or your talent through those platforms that already exist for you. Or if you happen to be so fortunate to be in a market like Atlanta where there are a lot of different events, definitely one of the young ladies mentioned networking. You got to be strategic about when you network, though. Like, don't just kind of show up and hang around. Don't be afraid to walk up and strike up a conversation and talk to people. Or if you're in Atlanta and you're visiting local studios, you got to see if you can take a meeting with the owner of the studios or interact with any of those folks. Like, you got to sometimes go the non-traditional routes of getting your foot in the door and just really being able to saturate the marketplace. It's so very important that you guys also utilize, like, for example, there's a community of people. Like, when I first started writing my books, I didn't have people that were knocking down my door to put my book in bookstores or, ask me to come out and do, a private book signing. So I went and started selling books to my friends on Facebook, and I asked them if they would host book parties or if their cousins or their cousins' friends or mama or daddy would host one, or my church, I got my church involved. So, try to start there and grow your way outward, because church folks like music too, right? A lot of people I go to a Baptist church, but they like secular music. So, network within your own smaller communities and then kind of grow out from there, because it's all about establishing a fan base, right? And so people don't even think about, dealing with their family members or testing the waters there, or, your schools, or trying to put on events there. Like, it's so many smaller ways that you can network and do grassroots promotions. And obviously, going back to what we mentioned a gazillion times on the phone about the digital footprint, really truly building up your social media, but being more strategic about it and not just posting silly stuff all the time. You want to make sure that your artist, empowers also, and just has kind of a civic responsibility, and they engage sometimes in an intelligent way on social media, and it's not always just about the turn up. So just utilize your resources and do your research and do your homework. If it's some things you don't know about, find out about it. Like I was telling the lady earlier about getting out of the New York market. Do your research and find out what other markets in the surrounding areas that you can go to, or maybe it's even stepping out of New York and going into Jersey, and building a fan base there. It's still, music is not going anywhere. It's been around since the beginning of time. There's still going to be job opportunities out there in music, but you got to be smart about it. You can't be afraid to take chances, and you got to invest in yourself. Period. Point blank. Do I have money to really be spending to go to South by Southwest this week? No, but I'm speaking on 2 panels, and I'm also starting to do some digital strategy and marketing. So I've got to go out myself, 20 years, 25 years plus in the game. Yes, I still market myself, and I still network every day. I'm going to be meeting some folks from YouTube and SoundCloud, because the business has changed. It's all technology driven. So guess what? I'm spending those extra dollars I got on hotel money to go down to South by Southwest during the interactive portion of the conference and meeting folks in the tech world, so I can figure out more innovative ways to not only market the music that I'm, working with from a client perspective, but even marketing myself as a brand. What are the new hot apps? What are the new digital platforms everybody's talking about? What's the digital footprint that's going to take us into 2018? Do your research, do your homework, stay ahead of the curve, because I guarantee you'll be 10 steps ahead of these record companies if you do your own homework and that you find ways to saturate, the digital landscape. All right. So I am so excited about what we're going to talk about, which is why we've been doing all of this. This is the big reveal and lead up, AJ, that we've been working so hard on.
So one of the things, Shanti and I actually met probably about 8 months ago on another digital platform. And when Shanti had the idea to do this summit, number one, I was excited just to work with Shanti. But number two, her idea was more about building a community, giving back, right? She's been in the game for 25 years. She just said it, 25 years. And now she's like, look, I learned all this stuff. Now it's time for me to help back. It's time for me to go to colleges. It's time for me to travel around. It's time for me to speak. It's time for me to share all the stuff that I've learned over these years with the other people. So what she's done is she's put together a crazy panel, and again, this is just the first one, for a one-day digital summit. Right now, there is an old way of doing things and a new way. The old way we touched on a little bit earlier tonight. You get a hotel room and you get your people up on a stage and you sit there and people ask you questions and then the moderator is asking you questions. You walk up to the mic. That's the old way of doing things. The way that Shanti wanted to do this is she wanted to reach a nationwide audience at one time, right? So you guys will be able to access this summit this Saturday from your phone, from your iPad, from your laptop, all those different ways. It's all day Saturday from, what did we say, 11:45 until 5:15, 5:20, right? You will have 4 different modules, and she's going to go into details of the ladies that are involved. 4 different modules, and you'll have breaks in between so that you can get yourself together, and we get ourselves together, right? All right. So it's the Women in Music Digital Summit. So I want you guys right now, before we go on, I want everybody that's still on the call to go take a picture of the screen. Go back one more slide. I want everybody to take a picture of this screen. This is the summit that Shanti has put together, and then go ahead and take the picture, tag Shanti, tag myself, hashtag Women in Music. Now, Shanti's about to go through and explain who the instructors are, why she chose them, and the relationship that she has with them, and also what they contribute to the music industry.
So I'm so excited about this digital summit on Saturday, and I've just been getting great feedback, AJ, from a lot of people. They want us to do more of them. I know you did some things with my dear friend April Love, as well as Nicole Garner, who I love and respect, and Jay Carter, and we're just trying to really disseminate smart and helpful information for the entertainment community. So the first guest that we're going to have on Saturday, and that's actually in no particular order, but the first slide that comes up is Janae Bolden. Janae's a good friend of mine. She's the editor of Gossip, which is, a national blog, and they do focus on, music, entertainment, some gossip, as we know. But Janae is a very smart writer. She's a forward thinker. She's working on her own book. And I think she does a great job of trying to do things in the marketplace that kind of counter some of just the celebrity gossip, that happens on the blog. So she's really intelligent. She has a wonderful amount of information regarding blogs, how you can make money from it, trying to create a strategy to get noticed as an artist, and why even focus on major blogs or not. So she just has a lot of really great information to add in that space, and she's just a wonderful person to know. The second guest is one of my mentees, and now I'm so proud of her. She's doing big things in the entertainment industry. Her name is Felicia Font. I first met Felicia, we're both from Atlanta, and our paths have crossed over the years, but we really got to know each other when I was working at Universal Motown, and she was a junior publicist there. And I saw her work her way up and do some amazing things with a lot of the artists there, and now she is the VP of Publicity at Warner Brothers. She's going to talk to you. And the one thing with Felicia, even before she, or while she was working at the label, she had her own independent publicity firm. So she really was able to hone in on her skills and craft and create a really nice niche for herself with her agency that she had while working in New York City. So she'll talk to you about, what is publicity, do you need a publicist if you're an artist, what's a good time to hire a publicist, tools that you might need for your publicity campaign, whatever type of assets and collateral material that you'll need, things you can do if you're pursuing a career in publicity, and how you can get experience, whether it's internships and so forth before you get hired. So, ladies, you can Google her. She's doing some amazing things. Andra Day is one of the artists that she's been recently working very closely with, and she's totally helped her catapult her career to the next level. The third guest is a dear friend of mine, Falana Williams. I've known Falana for, over 15 years in the entertainment business now. She worked at LaFace Records. I remember we hired her as an assistant, and she worked her way into the marketing department, and she was working under me there and I've watched her grow. She's been instrumental in the careers of Pink, Usher. She managed Miguel and helped break him, into the marketplace, as well as Sierra on her first album, which was a huge hit for her. She now is the head of talent for TuneCore, so she's signing artists. And if you're not familiar with TuneCore, it's a digital retail platform where you can sell your music. It's like a digital aggregator where you sign with TuneCore and they can disseminate your music to all the retail outlets online. You don't just have to go through iTunes; they'll get it out to everybody. But now TuneCore is signing artists almost as like a label. So don't just think about traditional labels when you're trying to get deals now. TuneCore, like I said, is a digital footprint, and they're signing artists now. So she's somebody that can bring a lot of really current information in terms of the landscape of getting your artist signed and some of the best practices, but she can also talk about, what it's like to have proper representation, for management and even pursuing, a career in marketing. So she just has, a plethora of good information to share. So we're really, really super excited and honored to have Falana Williams. Last but not least, this lady needs no introduction, Miss Candy Burris, who, is a television personality from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and, she has a lot of online properties that you're familiar with that she's been associated with. But I know Candy from the early 90s and her being a member of Escape. That's how long I've known her. And she was, one of the top female writers in the entertainment industry for many, many years. She's written hit records for TLC, for Backstreet Boys, so many other artists. And, I've always just had so much amount of respect for Candy. She's a super businesswoman, very savvy, very smart, very confident, and always staying 2 steps ahead of the game. And I think she's really been able to kind of solidify a place for herself in the marketplace, even though she's on reality television. You don't look at her and you think ratchet. You look at her and think a smart businesswoman. She's been able to keep her head above ground and to play smart in that world. So kudos to Candy, and that's just a huge, huge honor to have her as a part of this summit. We support one another as women in music, and she does so much great and good in the community as well, and so I just have a tremendous amount of respect for her. So ladies, y'all got an all-star cast and team. We may take this thing on the road one day, for offline opportunities, but for now, this is like the all-stars of the game. Everybody is leading in their particular area or industry, and this is priceless. You pay, several $1,000s for an online course, and, you wouldn't even be able to get, these type of instructors, to teach you even for that amount of money. So these ladies are doing it for me to help shape culture and to keep trying to bring up the younger generation. So they're honored to do it, and they're just ready to share and help.
All right, so again, all these, it's crazy. Like Shanti said, this is a mega cast of instructors, and they're going to spend their time with you.
Like the dream team.
It's like the dream team, right? So, not only are they going to spend their time with you Saturday, they're going to answer questions. So you'll have Shanti, you'll have, Felicia, you'll have all these different music industry executives, and I think Janae is in online magazine. Jesus.
Digital.
This is my new tongue that I just started working with tonight, so I can't talk. Anyway, so you're going to have all these people on the summit Saturday. You have a chance to ask the questions that you need asked. So again, when Shanti and I talked about this, she was thinking, okay, well, it would definitely be worth at least $300 if we did it in person per person, right? So we're doing it online, we're doing it live, and again, the price starting tomorrow, the price is going up. Now, if you go to womeninmusicsummit.com, you'll see the full price there is $89. But right now, you can get it for $69. So you get all 4 of the women, and you also get all the recordings, and you also get the roster that we're about to create with everybody's contact information. So Again, you have a chance to network while you're apart and get your questions answered on the summit. And then off the summit, you have an entirely new network of professionals in the music industry that you can network. You can network with each other. You see what just happened. Faye got on and sang for 15 seconds, and now somebody's reaching out to her to work with, right? That's the kind of synergy that Shanti's looking to build by putting this together.
Absolutely.
So right now, if you would just go over, I'm going to type it in the chat window for everybody that's interested, and we want everybody to go over to buy, that's B-U-Y. Give me a second. I can't type and talk at the same time. Women in Music Summit.com. So yeah, go over to buy.womeninmusicsummit.com, and in the middle of the page, you're going to see this big black box that says buy now and save, right? When you hover over it, it turns black, but if you click that button, it'll give you the option to go ahead and buy the course tonight, and that is $69 until midnight tonight. Starting tomorrow, the class will go up. The $89 that you see on the primary page will also go up, right? So after tonight, it's going to go up from even $89. You definitely won't be able to get it for $69. So go ahead now and go ahead and buy it. And Shanti, did you have any? Let's see. All right, so now's your chance, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, who's buying the course? If you're going to go ahead and buy the course and join, just go ahead and type, I'm definitely in. I have to take it. And Shanti already said, you need to invest in yourself, right? So if you're in, just go ahead and type I'm in the chat window. And if you're not in, type in the chat window and just tell me like, hey, AJ, I can't do it tonight because of X, Y, and Z. And let's see if we can figure it out. So we see, okay, thank you, Mercedes. Mercedes is in. Faye Capers, that's awesome. Faye is in.
And you know what? If you have friends that you know that couldn't join tonight or last week but could benefit from this, talk to them about it, because again, as AJ mentioned, the course material will be available to you afterwards. You can refer back to it. And then the one thing about me, I'm really hands-on. People tweet me, they ask me questions. I really do believe in lifting as I climb, and so I will make myself available. I can't tell you that I'll break your artist for you, but I will be willing to share my knowledge and information. I'll be willing to give some of you guys shots to perform at my ATL Love on the park, because it's just about creating synergies with one another, as AJ mentioned. So let's just empower each other and keep this going.
Right, and again, I think the first step is investing in yourself, right? So what Shanti said earlier, you're looking at $69, and I say this all the time. If I take my wife and my daughter to the movies, that's a quick $100 gone. If they want anything, popcorn, 3 movie tickets, popcorn for everybody, that's $100 gone, right? So if I can spend $100 at a movie theater, then I should definitely be able to invest $69 in, shaping my future, right? Welcome, Ronjanique, Ronnie, Monet, Taylor, welcome, Faye, Mercedes. And if you're not in, we're interested to know, like, what is it that we can do to make it better for you? Like, this is about making this something that's valuable to you, right? So if you say, hey, this is something I'm looking for and it doesn't have this, then maybe that we can go back to the drawing board and say, you know what, Shanti, these are 10 things that they said, they needed and they don't have it tonight. So if you are deciding not to buy, go ahead and type in the chat window. Don't be embarrassed. Like, this is not to call people out. It's just to figure out how we can do better. All right, let's see. Keep that deal going for longer for the people who are on tonight. Okay, Alicia, that's a thought. We'll definitely consider that. So are you saying that you want in, but you just can't do it right now, or? Oh, she said, why you say my name? I'm sorry. I'm accustomed to people's names. They don't know your last name.
Don't worry, we all in this together.
Keys. Your name is Alicia Keys. Her name is Alicia Keys, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in, Melanie. Welcome. Let's see. Thank you. Yeah, that was a question. That was Alicia Keys said keep it at $69. Anybody else? Anybody else that's not going in? Just say, and I won't say your name this time, but go ahead and type in the chat window what would it take for you to join the class? And I guess while I wait for that feedback, and don't be ashamed. But while I wait for that feedback, Shanti, do you have any closing words? We're approaching 11 o'clock.
No, I just want to just tell everybody, don't give up on your grind. You know, dreams are just ideas and thoughts. Dreams take. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's 11 o'clock. Dreams require proper planning, strategy, and execution. I'll say it again. Dreams require proper planning, strategy, and execution. Otherwise, they're just an idea. I encourage you to keep dreaming, but keep doing. Keep learning, keep exploring. As I mentioned, in the entertainment industry, it's ever changing and evolving. And so the news of yesterday is old by tomorrow, because we have this good old thing called the internet, and we have social media now. So information for us in the past, it would sometimes take, a week to get featured in the magazine, or a month. Now it's instantaneous. And so you have to stay current. You have to read Billboard.com, read Complex Music, check out the music blog. This is R&B.com. Invest in conventions, people that want to be executives, and network. See what your competition is doing. Try to stay 10 steps ahead of them. Just arm yourself with the tools and knowledge that you need to be successful. Excuse me, period, point blank. You've got to take the time to really learn the industry and to stay up on the trends and know what's going on. There's so much information out there, but you have to be really strategic about it and figure out, which blogs to read, which sites to read, where you're going to really get your important information from. What clubs in my area are popping? Where are they breaking music? If they're breaking music at the strip clubs, I don't necessarily condone strip clubs, but sometimes you got to take that record and ask the DJ in the strip club to play it. Or if you're in the gospel market, you need to ask Pastor, can you have that solo? Or if you can, put up a song on iTunes and ask your congregation to support you. Tell them a portion of the proceeds is going to help the less fortunate in the church community. Find ways to get creative to expose your music and expose your talent, or to expose yourself, as this aspiring young executive. But we live and work in a relationship economy. It's half of what you know and half of who you know. So you can't be afraid. You got to go out there and eat it. Closed mouths don't get fed on the boulevard.
There you go. Closed mouths don't get fed on the boulevard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. Again, you have another solid hour to get the class for that $69 price. And the price will definitely be going up tomorrow. But everybody that bought, welcome, welcome, welcome. We thank you all. Everybody who gave me the different reasons that you weren't able to get it tonight, that's cool. But we thank everybody for their time. Thank you, Shanti, for doing this.
Can I mention one last thing? I'm sorry.
No, absolutely.
I mentioned that I'm an author. In your leisure, check out my website, www.pressresetent.com. AJ is going to type it in, www.pressresetent.com. All of my books are there. 2 of my books are on Kindle and iTunes as ebooks, the Hip Hop Professional and the Networking one. But if you're thinking about self-publishing a book, I have that new pocket guide that's coming out. I'm also working on the 1, 2, 3s of the music biz and the 1, 2, 3s of leadership. I love speaking. I'm always speaking at colleges. If you are in college and want me to come speak, talk to your campus board. And then also, I'm launching an empowerment t-shirt line. So I have some really cool t-shirts it's a couple that are out now. One is #Gold Digger, but that's GOAL Digger. And you can find my merchandise on Etsy.com, ETSY.com, and the name of my shop is Hip Hop Pro Swag.
So it's Etsy/Hip Hop Pro Swag?
Yeah, just go on Etsy.com and then search for Hip Hop Pro Swag, because y'all know I am the hip hop professional, here to empower and inspire.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Donna, if you would send a email. I'm going to send an email to kim@anthonyjoyner.com. That's Joyner with an I. That is for Donna Permel. Send an email there. We got you squared away. Let's see who else. Rachel Jackson, send an email to kim@anthonyjoyner.com. We'll get you squared away. Is there anybody else that I see quite a few people are saying that they want to get in, but they need the $69 deal to be extended longer? We can talk about that, right? So if anybody else needs the $69 deal extended, send an email to I'm going to type you in the chat window.
And we're serious about this. We're not just saying yes.
Absolutely. We don't want to, lock you out just because it went up to, $89.99, $109. So if everybody who's on the call, send an email to kim@anthonyjoyner.com, and we will reserve the $69 price for everybody on this call. All right? How long is the after party price available for? Oh, okay. Well, so here's another thing that we failed to mention. You can also, if you only want to buy the recordings, for $49, you can buy the recordings only version, right? So if you don't have the $69, you're like, you know what? I want the information, but I'm good with the recordings. I don't have to be there live. Go ahead and go to womeninmusicsummit.com right now, and you can buy the recordings only. And as soon as we'll get those recordings to you after the training is over. All right. Great question, Ashley. And the after party price will be available until Sunday. I'm sorry, until Saturday. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, any other questions? Any other questions? I am shutting it down if I don't see anything pop up. Let's see, we get the recordings anyway. We may not. Oh, absolutely, Faye, you do get the recordings. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Shanti, thank you. Guys, you have a good night, and we thank you for showing up and all your participation.
Good night, guys.
Night.